at this. So this class will be recorded and you'll have it to do whatever you want with afterwards. Go for it, Eva.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm so glad that we're able to do this together on a Thursday afternoon. And I'm so thankful that Leah can join us. Leah, I know you'll share more about yourself, but for everyone, she's an artist and a teacher from the Roaming Studio, guys. She lives in Portland, Oregon, but she's lived in Brooklyn before. And she does a lot of these classes in person, but of course with COVID now, it's all virtual. And she does this a lot for our Reuters reporters, and they love it and they find it really fun and a great way to kind of decompress from everything that's happening in the world. So I hope you guys all have fun today, and maybe we can share all of our drawings at the end of the class and share with the entire newsroom.
Yes.
Who knows? Okay, Leah, I'll kick it off to you.
Thank you. All right, so I noticed, is everybody on the WhatsApp thread that I sent around? If you are not, okay, great. If you do not have that, I can put it in the chat of Zoom right now. You can just get a copy and join that. This is pretty important because it helps us see what each other is doing. And I feel like a lot of learning happens that way. And that's the one thing. So I put it in the Zoom chat to everyone. That usually means you've got to copy it, send it to yourself on your phone in some format so that you can open it. So yes, my name is Leah Kohlenberg. And I've been a practicing artist for 20 years, a professional artist for the last 10, meaning I make my living doing that. I mostly sell paintings, but I also teach. And before I was an artist, I was a journalist. I worked for Time Magazine, helping cover the Hong Kong handover in China. I was in Mongolia as a correspondent for a while. I spent 6 years working for small daily newspapers around the country. I'm really old. This was like in the 1990s, back when there were big budgets for that kind of thing. And it was really awesome. And there was a time when I thought journalism was the best job, and there was no other job I could imagine. And I still feel that way. About 20 years ago, I decided, when I was 30, I decided I wanted to be an artist. I did not know how to draw. I had some kind of aptitude for painting, but I had no technical expertise at all. I really started by drawing. Well, I bought a house in Seattle. At the time, I was working for ABC News as a producer and living in Seattle, Washington. I bought a house, and it was a 4-bedroom fixer-upper house, and I ended up painting every wall of every room a different color. Somebody walked in and went, "Oh my God, are you an artist?" And that had never occurred to me before, but I was kind of fascinated by the idea. I had all this house paint that was different colors and all of these projects that were happening. So I had wood from different projects I was fixing, and I would start dripping. I started by just dripping the paint on wood, and I could spend hours doing it. And so I decided to kind of quit being a journalist full-time and really decide to pursue a career in art. And I say this because I want you to know that whatever level you're at, and I didn't know anything, like I really didn't. I did not know how to draw. I was not one of those kids that did this when I was growing up. And so I found, as I began to learn, that this was a very teachable skill. And that as I did it, not only was I kind of building this new skill set that I could take on and kind of challenging who I was, right? Because I thought I was somebody who couldn't draw. I thought I was somebody who could write but not draw. As I challenged myself, it opened up this whole new way of kind of working in the world. I will tell you that I think I became a better writer. I don't think that's important to anyone here. I know you're already good writers. That's why you are where you are. But I can also tell you that it helped me as an analytical thinker, because there's a different way of thinking, and we are going to talk about it today. So I don't want to go on too long. But I will say right now, I do, in the last 5 years, I have been working with, I hooked up with an old editor of mine at a newspaper that I worked at, a small daily in North Carolina. She's now at Reuters. And I showed her that she could draw. And then she asked me if I would teach Reuters employees how to draw. And then for the past 5 years, I've been teaching them. So we have been studying all drawing, all painting skills, and so they just keep coming back. So does anybody have any questions before I go on? I want to get us going. Today we're going to talk. Who is an artist here? Who has some art experience here? Everyone's like, no. Okay, I see Stephanie kind of going, I see Ellie kind of going, you know, art is really, it's interesting to me. Art is really one of those things where no one thinks they know enough about it. Have you noticed that? You know something about it, but there's really nothing that you know about it. I've never taught anything where people have continually come to me and said, before I take your beginning drawing class, I need to get to be a better drawer. Like, what? You don't know? Okay. So like you wouldn't do that with a French class, right? You wouldn't go to a beginning French teacher and say, I need to get better with my French before I take a beginning French class. What we know is that drawing is a different way of thinking about and analyzing a situation or a subject. It's about going from the left brain to the right brain. So today we're going to do a series of exercises, which will wind up with a drawing, with several drawings actually, where we talk about the difference between right and left brain. So what we're going to do, hold on, I'm going to spotlight myself so you can see this. Okay, so let me put you here. Welcome to my studio, you guys. This is my garage, very glamorous. I basically never leave. Probably feel the same about wherever you're working. We are going to start. I'm going to have you repeat the drawing that's up here, down here. But before we do that, I want to define a couple of terms for you. Don't worry, I have another setup so that you can see this really close, but I want to talk about a couple of things. So the first question I'm going to ask you, here, wait. Oh, there we go. Is, what is this? What is that? Yeah. What is that?
Circle. A blob.
It's a blob, right? This is a circle, and this is a blob. What else? What else did I hear?
Oh, a lima bean. It looks
a
like
lima bean. Yep. I've heard a lot of things. You're absolutely right. So here, let me move this a little bit this way. So, there we go. So you can see that a little bit better. So in our understanding, our conceptual understanding of the circle, this is the only object that's a circle. In drawing, both of these are in what we would call the circle family. And don't worry, I have this written down for you as well. So the circle family is anything roundish with no sharp edges. So this can be a circle, this can be a circle, this is a circle, this is a circle, and this is a circle. Okay, can anybody see how this might be helpful in drawing? Or is it too soon? Maybe too soon. All right, so there are 5 families of shape in drawing. And when you're trying to simplify, it helps to expand your idea of what a circle is beyond just the basic circle. So if you're looking at something, if you're trying to recreate something and simplify it, it's like, what kind of circle is it? There is also the dot family. And dot family is just like the circle family, except dots are filled in. So a dot can be anything roundish with no sharp edges where the sides are filled in, where it's filled in inside. The circle family is just circles. So somebody take a look at your door frame and tell me what the shape of the door is. You can shout it out.
Rectangle.
A rectangle, right? But we have no rectangle family of shapes. We've got 3 more families of shape. We've got straight lines. We've got curved lines. and we have angle lines. Okay, so straight lines can be thick, they can be thin, they can be little, they can be big. Curved lines are just, you know, slightly curved lines. They can be small like this, they can be big like this, they can even be curly like a snail's shell. Angle lines are just two straight lines put together, narrowly or widely. So with these 5 families of shape, we can draw everything. If you were going to look at that doorway, what shapes would you use to build it?
Angle lines and straight lines.
Yep. Either 2 angle lines put together, absolutely, or straight lines, maybe 1 thick straight line, maybe 4 small straight lines. That's exactly right. So come on over here. Hold on, I'm gonna spotlight a different demo. Give me a second. All right. So can everybody see that? Can everybody see that exercise?
I can,
Yes.
but it's not like super clear.
Hold on. Is that better? Are you looking at the spotlight?
I am. I think it, honestly, I actually think it's also because I'm uploading video for something, because it's just,
That'll be the problem. Yeah, yep, absolutely. So do the best you can. I will send a picture across the WhatsApp thread. But when you see this guy, I want you to tell me what are the, and here they are, just in case you forget. Wait, let's see. I'll put these guys over here. There's the 5 elements of shape. So how many shapes are represented in this thing? In this little box? How many shapes do you see?
3.
Yeah, which ones?
Straight, curved, and angled.
Yeah, straight, curved, and angled. Does anybody see a circle or a dot?
No.
Right. You see, did this confuse you down here? Maybe perhaps it looks like a circle or a dot. Hang on, I'm going to take a picture. For those of you who this is, I'm going to take a picture here so you guys have this very clearly. So for those of you who are having video troubles, you can take a look at your WhatsApp thread and you'll see this here. Okay, so essentially all you're doing is redrawing. I want you to create a square box on a plain piece of paper. And then I want you to take a pencil. Let's see, do I have a pencil here? I only have a marker here, so I'm going to do this with a marker. And I want you to just kind of recreate these lines down here. So give yourself a box, and then you can do just what I'm doing here. Use a pencil so you can erase if you want to. So go ahead and take a minute. That's really weird. Well, anyway, Amber, you have this now, so you can just use this on the WhatsApp thread. I find that I work with people all over the world, and some people have trouble with the bandwidth, so WhatsApp tends to help. Cool. I used to time this exercise. Now I'm just going to let you guys do it. You just let me know when you're done.
I just finished drawing my square, so I'm glad you're not timing it.
Yes, I'm not timing you.
We have to do the bottom one, right?
The bottom one. You're
Yeah.
copying at the top what's in the bottom. So just give yourself a square. If you were in person, I would hand you this thing and I would have you redraw this. But since you're not in person, I'm just having you draw your own blank square and then try to recreate what's up here in the blank square. Oh, I can see my, weird. Okay. And for those of you who can't see this well, I've also got it on the, thread, the WhatsApp thread. WhatsApp saves us over and over again. And this is just a beginning exercise, so don't stress. You do not have to show it if you don't want to. If you feel like it, you can take a picture and send it across the thread. But you don't have to, no requirements here. I like to call this one of my theory lessons. So while we are, and it's really designed for people of all levels. It's designed for people who don't have any experience, but it's also designed for experienced artists, particularly those who have trained themselves, who want to kind of understand the drawing process more clearly. So you might find yourself doing things, particularly if you have some experience that are a little bit different than the way I'm doing them. It's good to pay attention to this because this is not an intuitive process necessarily. Oh, looks great. Excellent. These look good. Good job, Eva. Good job, Julia. Good job,
Amber, that
Amber.
is so good.
It's good, it works.
I'm gonna use a pen instead. I thought I had to use pencil, but it looks prettier in pen.
You can always trace it over with pen afterwards if you want to.
That is a pencil, Julia. Oh, I'm scared of drawing hard because I don't have a sharpener and I have 2 pencils.
I got you. Okay. Tell me how difficult, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being easy and 10 being difficult, how difficult was this assignment?
It was easier than I thought.
Yeah.
I agree with Julia, but I feel like it brings out a lot of my like perfectionist instincts.
Yes.
In that sense, I think it is pretty difficult.
So is it difficult to do it, or is your anxiety around it a little difficult?
Not anxiety around it.
All right. So your anxiety is not the actual task, right? Your anxiety is your anxiety. And girlfriend, I totally get you. So don't I get it, the perfectionist tendency. But so if you actually analyze the steps to do this, 1, 2, 3, is it 10? Does anybody find it to be a 10? No, it's really not a 10. It's maybe a 2 or a 3.
Or easy?
What? 1 is easy, 10 is impossible.
No. I would say like a 2 or a 3.
Yeah, a 2 or a 3. And the things that are hard are kind of getting things in the right places. Is that what you found? Like sometimes you get things too big, right? So this is like
that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, it was like the flow was hard, like the flow of like, it didn't come like naturally. Like I made a line, but then I was like, I should have made this line before this line, you know.
You're questioning your flow. Yeah. Because, right, exactly. That's really great. And part of that is you don't know what it is you're drawing, right? You're just looking at shapes.
Yeah.
So it's hard to understand. So that's a really interesting statement. We're going to talk about that flow. All right. So tell me what this is. What are you drawing? Anybody know?
It feels like maybe a tree to me, or like kind of like nature of some sort.
A tree or nature?
I was going to say a tree too.
I
A
was
tree
gonna
or
say
nature?
like the leaf, the veins on a leaf.
Veins on a leaf. Great guesses. Are you ready?
It never occurred to me that it would be.
All right. Now, why doesn't it look like that? Because, although I just realized that this is a flipped drawing. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is his pants leg. Wait, here, hold on. Like this. Pants leg. Right? Although flipped. All right. So here's my question.
Oh my
so
God,
this is what this
It
is.
does look like that.
This is a Picasso drawing of his friend Igor Stravinsky. Okay, so if I had if I had not talked to you about this, say we throw this away, 5 elements of shape, dot. I had not created this box for you and turned this part of the image upside down and reflected backwards. I had just handed you this sheet of paper and said, this is an Igor Stravinsky, a Picasso drawing of Igor Stravinsky. Please draw the legs. How difficult would that assignment be on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being easy, 10 being hard. Yeah, 10.
10.
Impossible, right? So how is it that the same assignment is a 10 on one hand and maybe a 2 or 3 on the other? What did I just do to you? I just put you into right brain. So let us So let us talk about right brain. I'm going to go back to the big board so you can see me for a second. Did I just kind of mess with you guys' heads a little bit? I hope so. That's my plan.
Blew my right brain.
Right. We just blew your right brain, which you didn't even know you had. So let's talk about this for a minute. What is the difference? So the actual act of drawing, beyond our frustrations and our besides getting things in the right places, is really more, it becomes much harder once we know what something is. And when we don't have it like a style, sort of separated out for us. So what is that? Tell me what your concepts of left and right brain are. Anything you might have heard.
I'm left-handed, so I feel like I've always been told that like I'm a more right-brained person, but I kind of feel like I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, what is right brain? What does that mean?
More like the more creative side of your brain versus your left side being your more like analytical side.
All right. So thank you for using those 2 words. And I wanted to, who said that? Who said that? Okay, so Addie, what I want to tell you is that is not the right answer, but that is so the answer that everyone gives that I want to say, I just walked you into that.
I'm
right.
happy to be the one.
Thank you for me. So when I say you're wrong, I don't want to say this is everyone. I've taught this lesson all over the world. Everybody answers the same way. The left is analytical and the right is creative. If you think about it, word people, this is a false dichotomy. It's like saying if you're analytical, you can't be creative. And if you're creative, you can't be analytical. Let us break down the tasks of left and right brain into more specific qualities. And of course, we now know that like any part of the brain can pick up any task. So even saying left and right isn't exactly correct, because if you have a stroke, you're going to grow a new neuroplastic pathway. But just to think about what is associated with left brain skills, the left brain is what we call verbal conceptual. And it's what we're in the moment we learn language. And it's definitely what you're in when you're writing. The right brain is called visual spatial. Can you see how much less kind of loaded these terms are? You're probably more just like, what's the difference between these two? So verbal conceptual is very important to our development as humans who live in a group, because verbal conceptual attaches words to concepts so that you can talk to each other. So it means that this is a hand, or whatever language you know hand in, right? This is a hand, and you don't have to see a picture of a hand to know what a hand is. Not only do you not have to see a picture of a hand, you can think of probably 3 or 4 different, give me a hand, right? You have all these associations with this word so that you can communicate. It's very important. Okay, so let me ask you, oops, I'm gonna skip back to this. Is my hand bigger or smaller than my head? Bigger or smaller?
It depends.
Is it bigger or smaller?
Same size.
Same size? Bigger or smaller than my head? Take a look. Look carefully.
Smaller?
Yeah, smaller. Okay.
Oh,
What about now?
I thought it was a trick question.
Now, it is kind of a trick question. What about now? What
Bigger.
about now? Is my hand bigger or smaller than my head?
It's still smaller.
Uh-huh.
Bigger.
That is so the fact that it's still
Looks
smaller is, look at it. Bigger or smaller?
Bigger.
Right. So if you found yourself saying, wait, it's still small, that's because this understanding of the hand is a verbal, conceptual left brain understanding of the hand. You just added, you little brilliant people, you bright people, you just quickly added, oh, the hand is smaller than the head when you saw it. So when I move the hand, your verbal conceptual side is saying, wait a minute, that's a hand, it's smaller than the head. I don't know what's going on, right? That is left brain. The right brain does not care what this object is, does not care what this object is. There's no value judgments at all. Doesn't even care that this is my hand attached to my body, right? And this is my head, doesn't matter. In visual spatial logic, everything is relational. So when this object gets closer, it gets bigger. And when this object gets farther away, it gets smaller. So you have to let go of your verbal concept of the hand to be able to draw the hand in this particular way. Does that make sense? That is the problem.
I get it.
Yes. So that is why people can't draw, because because your concept of what is happening is based on a left brain concept, which is not looking at the relational, right? So this is like the reason we struggle to draw. So the reason that assignment that I just gave you was a 3 when you didn't know what it was and it was turned upside down is because you weren't thinking about what it was. You were just focused on the shapes. And it becomes a 10 when I tell you it's right side up and it's a Picasso drawing, because you have all kinds of concepts about how hard that is. Legs, Picasso, copy, no boundaries, no nothing, right? That's all your left brain getting in your way of you being able to draw. So that is why nobody really knows how to draw. I mean, people have trained themselves how to draw, but that's why most people didn't learn how to draw. The focus was not on the shapes. And to know that in right brain logic, it doesn't really matter what this is. It's all relational to what's happening. So the rules of right brain are different. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so shall we do a drawing together? All right, so go ahead and get a blank piece of paper. I'm gonna move you back over here to the drawing board.
Can we just flip over our one from before?
Sure,
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll do the same thing, actually. Great idea.
Yeah, it's so smart.
You're so smart, exactly.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna remove the spotlight and I'm gonna put up the demo again. I'm gonna do this really big, Amber, so that you can see it. Wait, sorry, do the wrong spotlight. Replace spotlight. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to have you draw a series of shapes along with me. And when you know what this is, I want you to yell it out.
Did you say you want us to do it along with you?
I want you to do it along with me. I'm going to draw one shape at a time. I want you to draw it along with me. And when you know what it is we're drawing, I want you to shout it out. Okay, so we're going to start with a dot, just a round dot, and then a circle around the dot. Okay, and then when you've done that, I want you to go to the right of this dot in this circle and put a straight line vertically up and down. And after that, through the middle of this straight line, I want you to do another straight line that's perpendicular to this first straight line. Anybody know what this is?
It's a bird.
Yes. Well done. All right. And if you didn't guess it after this, this is 2 straight lines coming to the center like that. And then this always gives it away. A little curved line for the head. This is obviously not a real bird. It's kind of a stylized bird. Shall we finish the drawing though, just for the heck of it? Okay.
Yes.
So we've got, starting here at the bottom of this straight line, we're gonna go straight across like this. Is this another straight line? Oh, come on. I just did a pastel lesson, so the tape is like making this kind of sticky. Here at the base of the beak, we're gonna do another curved line. This is so cute. The wings are gonna look like, this is a flying bird, so the wings are gonna look like this. Sort of in the middle of this back part of the straight line, we're gonna do a curved line up like that, and then another curved line down that stops at the head, and then a second curved line in the middle of this line, and that comes like that.
My bird has a really big head.
That's okay. There's no wrong answers with this bird. We're gonna get there.
I love my
I'm
bird.
hoping that we're gonna have time to draw this guy, but we're gonna get there in steps. So if you want to, you can give him feathers, circles. He's got little legs, so let's see, 2 straight lines for one leg, 2 straight lines for the other, and then 3 curved lines. 1, 2, 3 for his little talons. And then you have a choice of tail. I mean, you could go like that. You could do circles. You get to choose the tail. So go ahead and spend a moment finishing your bird. If you want to, you can put him on a branch. These are just straight lines. So you notice this entire thing is being constructed with our 5 families of shape. Fairly simple. Take a minute, finish your bird. I'm gonna do another more complicated one after this. Is anybody finding this at all fun?
I love this.
This is,
Yeah.
the most fun this is the most fun I've had in weeks.
Good.
I'm so happy.
Good. We're going to
Yeah,
continue
vibing.
on.
Oh, good.
So spend a moment like finishing your bird. When you feel like you're ready, give me a shout and we'll go on to build up some more complex birds. By the way, this is from a book called, hold on, get it. Drawing with Children. This is an awesome, awesome book. Whether you have children, which I do not, or whether you do, it's a fantastic book on how to learn to draw. And because it's based on parents, it's got great, like, so here's our, we're gonna go here next. It's got these great step-by-steps. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do the horse, right? Here's how you do a still life. It's awesome. It kind of takes you through every level. It's got great examples along the way. So I would highly recommend this. I've got a set of drawing tips, and this will have information on how to, and on what books I like to recommend for beginners. There's one on right brain, the right brain and what it is. There's another one on this drawing with children. So everybody done? Are you ready to kind of jump into another bird, more complex bird? Okay, so let's try. I'm gonna take this one down. Just keep working on whatever piece of paper. If you've got room, you can keep going. We're gonna do 1 or 2 more birds together. And then I'm gonna have you try a bird on your own. Here we go. Let's start with this. Start with this guy. They're so cute, right? So let's start with this guy. This starts with a little dot and then a straight line over the dot. And then directly to the left at the bottom of, a little to the left in the bottom, there's a little 3 straight lines, or Yeah, 3 straight lines, I think, or a little triangle there. And then you can see there's his little head. Mine doesn't look exactly like his. I think that's okay. I'm not stressed out about it. And then 2 curved lines like this. And then 2 bigger curved lines like this. There's his little wings. And look at his little toes are so cute. They're like 2 big sort of oval dots and 2 smaller oval dots. There's his toes. And then really, it's just a set of curved lines for his tail, the longer ones. That's bird number 1. I'm gonna try this bird. Here, I'll move this down just a little bit. I'll move it over actually. That'll be helpful. It's funny. This is really cute, isn't it? It's really quite fun. All right, so let's try this bird here. So once again, and I am going to send across this whole page as a WhatsApp thread on the WhatsApp thread so you guys can see it better for those of you who are struggling. So this one starts, I'll turn this over. Here. There we go, so they can be right next to each other. This one starts with a dot like this and then a curved line. And then 3 straight lines at the bottom. Notice how the eye is always done slightly differently and how differently that conveys information. And then to the right here is a straight line, just like our first bird. And then over the top here is a curved line like that. You can jump ahead if you feel like you got this. This is like a curved line, and then starting here, like another curved line, and then here at the base is a curved line up, and another curved line up, meeting, there's this little beak. It's interesting how lines and shapes can create such different kind of emotional content. I'm kind of fascinated. People are always saying things to me. Here's a straight line, and then 2 curved lines. Here's another straight line and 1 curved line, and then another little straight line down like that. People are often saying to me, I don't know how to do skin tones, or I don't know how to do eyes, or I don't know how to do this or that. And I always say, it's not about what it is, it's about what the shapes are. So shape is really halfway to being able to draw. Let's see, I'm gonna break this next shape up. So I'm gonna do that. Notice I didn't try to do this whole thing. And I'm going to line up this second curved line with this little straight line here. Then the last thing I'll do is this. I'm only doing the top half of this bird right now. So you see, I'm like breaking this down so I can get everything in the certain quadrants together. And then we're going to go on and do this. And once I've done that, I can do a straight line across and another straight line underneath. And then this is a curved line out, and this is a circle. So curved line, circle, and then little dots, a big one and 2 little ones. Notice that this second foot is on the right side of the bird. You might want to kind of line it up, but that's not actually what's happening from this angle. And then I think I'm going to do the rest of this wing here. So I'll come down here. I'm going to follow along, go right underneath this straight line and do another curved line. And then I'm going to come here and line my line up here and do a straight line down and then a curved line up. Like this. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. Notice I'm also often not starting with the detail. I'm usually starting with the bigger overall shapes before I get in, because one can get kind of overwhelmed by stuff like this. So instead of even doing that curved stuff, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a straight line down, over, across, over. And over here, I'm going to do a curved line down, straight, across, over, down, straight, across, up. Oh, I got a little lost. Here, wait, I got here, here, there we go. This long one like this. There we go. A little mistake there. I'm not worried about it. And then curve lines. So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to send over a copy of this sheet. Oh, Addie, so cute. These are awesome. Eva, don't worry. It totally works. It totally works. You guys are cracking me up. These are awesome. Oh my God, you guys, these are awesome. Get your colored pencils out. These are all so great. Oh, I love them all. I love them. They're wonderful. So you have a choice here. You can kind of color in one of your birds for a minute if you happen to have things to color in. But I'd love to see you, and great work, Julia. Great, great.
Thank
These
you.
are all great. I'd love to see you. Hold on, I've got this somewhere. Wait, I'll get it here. I'm going to send this whole thing. Where are you, birds? Where are you? All right, here is this thing. I love them, Ellie. They're adorable. Yeah, your 2020 bird is like, yeah, screw this shit.
Jane, yours are flirty. They look like they're like courting each other.
Yeah, they look really
There's like the
Adorable.
energy here. My
All right,
God.
so now I want you guys to try and do at least one more bird on the sheet. Oh, I love it, Stephanie. Great. I want you to try one more bird on the sheet. I sent it over the WhatsApp thread. I can also move it so you can see it. Oh, sorry, I got some dots on it for my marker. So you can see it here. You can look up here, or you can use what's on the WhatsApp thread. Spend a minute, just try to do one. And then we're going to go to a real bird. Do we have time for that? Yes, we totally do. Aww. I love these so much. Carolyn, you have a WhatsApp thread already, so hold on. It's in the chat screen. I'll resend it so you can see it. I'll resend it. So I'm sending it right now. So here's the invite to the, hold on. Well, there we go. You should have it now.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi, I was muted.
We are drawing birds using shapes. And Caroline, this is recorded, so you guys will have, I'm going to give this recording to Eva and Brianne afterwards so they can distribute it, make it available to anyone. It's just for you guys, so. Right now, we're just trying to draw these birds. Does anybody find these birds a little easier than they would have if we had done been at the beginning of this class? Is it feeling manageable?
So much.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is so
It's
fun.
easier.
Excellent. So this is the different way of thinking that you need to get into to draw. It's a different way, it's a different logic system. And by the way, if you guys want to come back to tomorrow's class, there is a class tomorrow, an hour earlier, so at 3 o'clock your time, East Coast time, 1 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to be doing we're going to be doing a different subject. So if you want to take this, it can be done as a standalone. I'll probably start with the same beginning exercise, but it's going to be a totally different subject. So you're welcome to jump in on this. These classes are designed to be both standalones, but also building on each other. So tomorrow we will be drawing a flower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
I wish I could come tomorrow. I can't, but I wish.
there'll be a recording, so you can use that if you want to. I know it's not the same as a live class. I think the live classes are really important now. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like they're quite important in the scheme of
Yeah,
things.
at other news organizations, how often are you teaching classes? Like, is it weekly or bi-weekly or what?
Weekly. So for Reuters, I offer 3 classes a week. In different times, sort of designed to be in different time zones. And then the video recordings are made available to everyone. So there's a video recording of every class that everyone has access to. And some people are taking all the classes. Some people are just taking one. Nice job, Jane. I love him. Yeah, he's kind of a crazy dude. Perfect. Just perfect. Patty, oh, I love it. Eva, she's adorable. Are you kind of falling a little bit in love with your birds?
I have to bye
Yeah.
back for a second, but somebody wants to say hi to the class.
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm spotlighting you. Stay there. Who is this? This is, where are you? Hold on, puppy. Okay, hold on. I'm getting you up there. Wait just a second.
Okay.
Oh
Wait.
my God.
Wait, I pinned the wrong person. Here, sorry, honey.
Hey,
Jane, hold
Here,
on just a
Jane.
little bit. Wait,
That's Julia.
Julia, wait, who's the one who has
What?
the puppy?
Am I
Where is she?
I'm Ellie.
Ellie. Ellie, why can't I find you? Ellie, here we go, Ellie. Now we've got you. Oh, for
my
God's
God.
sakes.
Oh my God.
That is a baby.
Boo.
Yeah, she's interested in Zoom calls. We had a Zoom wedding the other day. But she is almost exact. She's 3 months old tomorrow.
Oh, hey,
She's a golden
baby.
retriever. She is teething, so that's lots of fun. But well, she's a little floof.
Birds. I think
cute. That is
dogs
so
find.
cute.
I think dogs and cats find Zoom calls confusing because they can see people talking, but they can't smell us. So they're like, "What is going on? Like I can see all this activity. It seems people are calling me a good dog, but I don't know what is actually happening." Oh, little.
She's a Gen Z.
God.
She's a digital native.
Oh my word. Oh my word.
Oh my God.
She's halfway done, but I'm gonna go take her out, and then she's gonna chill in her exercise pen while I finish the lesson.
Okay, perfect. Go
I
ahead.
love
and
her
do it.
so
Go ahead
much.
and do that.
Say goodbye, Phoebe.
That's a bird that lost its pants.
Oh my God.
Your eye's like, whoa. Excellent. You guys are doing great, by the way. Really great. I hope you're enjoying this. We're going to go to something slightly more challenging, but I think you're totally ready for it. I'm going to replace the spotlight. That was adorable. Okay. And move this over a little bit. Okay. So what happens when we get to real birds? If you want to keep working while you're talking, while I'm talking, this is totally fine. Yes, running out of room. That's a really good one. So how many people found that this drawing was fun, but it was hard that you tended to draw bigger than you thought? than you meant to.
Definitely
noticed
drew
that?
bigger than I meant to.
Right, that is a really common problem. It is a very common problem, drawing problem to have. Here, I'm gonna try and bring you up a little bit. There we go. Up a little higher. That is a common drawing problem to have. So one of the things that we do when we're working with real subjects, we're going to work with this guy next. There we go. Is we're going to do something called gridding. We're going to grid our papers. Now, I want you to just use basic printer paper or a sketch pad. This was printed on 8.5 by 11-inch paper. So if you really want this to work, you want to use something that's the same shape. Does anyone have a ruler, or do none of you have rulers?
I have a notepad that I can
No, we need rulers for this.
Things.
So the quickest,
measuring
easiest thing
tape.
for us to do, I'm going to have you do this. Take a piece of printer paper. And you are going to fold it in half once, like that. And then you're going to fold it in half again. Like this, fold it in half twice. There we go. Fold it in half again. And then you're going to fold it in half for a 4th time. So that's 4 equal folds. And when you open it, you'll see that you've divided your paper into the same equal rectangles. 16 rectangles that is on this drawing. So at this point, what you're going to want to do, there. I can see I'm having trouble fitting both of these. I should have checked that a little bit more closely. I'm going to try and bring this guy up a little bit so I can fit both of these guys on the screen. So I've got him here. Give me just a second. I have a new setup, which I'm really excited about, but it's tricky to circulate it. Let's see. There we go. Okay. All right. So if you have done this, now you can take a straight edge of anything and with your pencil, I don't have a pencil. Hang on, let me grab a pencil. So I'm just using a piece of a sort of a scrap piece of paper. I'm lining up along the folds and I'm redrawing them so I can see them better. Sometimes it's a little difficult to see the folds, so I might refold it along the edge like this so I can see my fold. I mean, it means you're going to have a folded up drawing, but that's okay, I think, to learn the principle of how this works. If you want to do this technique without folding, you're going to need a ruler, but we will talk about that at another time. Use anything. Oops. Let me fold that. See it better. So I basically just recreated this grid. So the reason that we draw things too big is a kind of survival mechanism that we are in all the time. The survival mechanism is I have to get a lot of information very quickly by kind of zeroing in on important areas, right? So the survival mechanism at play is like the thing that says, is this a red berry? Is this red berry poisonous, or is this one I can eat? Is that Tyrannosaurus Rex close to me? Actually, there were no Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Is that cougar close to me? Do I have to run, or am I going far away? is that person friendly or is that person going to hurt me? Right? There's a lot of different information that we're getting, which we're doing by zoning in. But drawing requires us to do something different. Drawing requires us to see, and we hone in on details, sort of focus on details differently. With drawing, we're trying to see the whole picture. So the first lines you're going to draw when you draw this are the red ones. Can you see the red line? I need to sharpen my pencil just a little bit. I'm not right now. Boy, art is so messy. It's really
But do
messy.
we like think of it like each individual, like draw each individual square or rectangle?
It's a great way of looking at it. If you want to, you can turn it upside down.
Oh,
Let's try that. So I will show, I'll walk you through it. I'll do it with you. So I'm not going to leave you guys to just do this. Yes, if you want to, let's turn it upside down and let's work upside down. People think this is harder, but it's actually easier. As you experienced at the beginning of class when you drew something upside down, even though you didn't know that's what was happening. So yeah, I'm going to start over here with this red line, which is kind of right here. And then, hey, you know what? I'm going to switch these around so I can actually show you what I'm tracing. This is a key technique. Lots of artists, so I don't know if you can see. I'm pointing, I'm drawing pretty close. And I'm even actually marking where I think that leg is. Where that leg. See that? Yeah, I think that's a great way to think about it. I'm actually putting and I notice I need to bring mine in a little bit closer. It needs to be a little bit skinnier at the bottom. Yep, that's the first set of shapes. Oops, stay up there. How am I gonna get you to stay up there? Okay, now, because I know this is hard to see, I'm gonna take a picture of it and send it over the WhatsApp thread so you guys have it, but I'll continue to draw here too. Let me tape this up some more. Let me take a picture. There you go. And here is my beginning drawing. You will notice that this drawing feels very weird. You might even feel like the drawing doesn't feel right. That actually means you're probably on the right track. Notice I'm marking dots where my red lines is intersecting. I notice it's a little bit, I should bring it down just a little lower. Here's this. And here's this. And trying not to block you. So let's see if you can see how I'm doing this. There. Notice I'm also not trying to draw the whole thing. Notice I'm not drawing any sort of details. I'm just getting the basic shape. Notice that this head is not round. It's kind of straight lines. It's an angle line, a series of straight lines. Yep, put together. I need to bring this up higher. So notice that I'm not necessarily getting this right on the first go round. Let me bring this down a little bit. Aha, there we go. That's gonna look more. Okay, I can see that there's a little mark here. And if I break down this shape, it's like circle, go down. There's a straight line, another straight line. So this is kind of an angle. No. More out like that. I very specifically pick different subjects for every class, and I very specifically don't practice them because I want you to see that the process of art is not getting it right the first time. So for those of you who feel anxious about the art making process, it's not about getting it right. It's about laying down the lines and then seeing, oh, what do I have to correct? And if this feels weird, then you're doing exactly the right thing. If it feels weird, if your left brain is fighting with you, notice I haven't even done the feet. I'm actually including the rock. Whoops, a little bit closer. Here I am back at the beginning. All right. If you feel like that looks weird, that's good. I'm kind of correcting the head shape a little bit. So why do we do this? So I have to tell you, I have been teaching for a long time, about 10 years. And what I have noticed is that people who know how to draw or who are fairly accomplished artists often do not draw this way. They teach themselves to draw a totally different way. And it works for a while until it stops working. This is actually, your brain is kind of fighting you on it, but this is actually the proper way to construct a drawing. It's to start with the outside shapes, the biggest shapes first, and then we have another step. It's not to go to the eye and then go to the beak and go outward and go like this, because we know if we do that, we're going to make things too big. It starts with this outer shape. And then, here, let me pick a different color for the next step. The next thing I'm going to do, and don't worry if you're not there yet, I'm just going to set this up for those of you who are. I'm drawing with the blue line the outline of the dark, medium, and the light shapes. Can you see that? So I'm just very simply, not in great detail, notice I haven't even done the eye. Not even doing the eye. So my next set of shapes is going to be to get these major dark, medium, and light areas in. So if I want to start up here, if you want, I will send you over a copy of this step too, so you can really see it.
Yes, please.
Here's step 2. There we go. Step 2. Okay. So now I'm kind of sketching in, still staying pretty loose. I'm getting in some of these shapes. But not so much detail. Let's see. This is probably the biggest shape. I can see that this little area, I'm gonna say it. More tape. This is about the halfway point. So I don't know if any of you know what this is a little bit like. You may not have gotten this in school. This is a little bit like learning how to draw cursive when we were little kids. I don't know if they teach that in school anymore.
I was wondering why this felt familiar. Yeah, that's exactly it.
This is how to draw cursive. So this whole set of exercises is really designed to exercise that visual spatial part of our brain. And it explains so much about dumb America that we don't really do this anymore. Right? We don't do this. We learn how to copy. And you'll notice kids go through a very specific developmental period where they can't really reproduce. It takes them, it's hard for them to reproduce here what they're seeing here. That's why cursive is so important, because it helps them start to get their hand-eye coordination and their manual dexterity with the pencil happening. Let's see here.
I always thought they just taught us that to be fancy.
Yeah, no, it's actually supposed to be creating it's a skill set. And here's what I find interesting. I used to do a lot of kids' birthday parties, and one of the things that I noticed as they stopped teaching that in school is that kids at the age of kids go through a developmental phase where sometimes they can draw a circle and sometimes they can't. Like, let's see here, I'll do this here. Sometimes they're like that, right? And sometimes they can get it done perfectly, but mostly they have to practice a lot to be able to get these shapes right. And that starts to happen around the age of 8. As you start to push your ability to copy what you see, the shapes and what you see. Oh, I see. Here, I can even see now how my shape is kind of off. I can see that my shape is kind of off, but can you see how easy it is to correct? Because I've done my bigger shape, so I know nothing is too far off. That I have noticed that most 11 and 12-year-olds are now at the level of about an 8-year-old in terms of being able to recreate shapes. It's hard work. This is kind of hard work. You know, it's like, it's tough to do. Whoops, that comes up like that. Now I'm trying to get these shapes. In reality, it's a whole other sort of analytical skill set. Learning to replicate what you see using a tool, which is essentially what we're doing. And while we're doing this, can you all tell me what you do for Buzzfeed? I'd be totally interested to hear that. I know what Eva and Brianne do, because we've been talking about this. What do the rest of you do?
We're just shouting it out. Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, shout it out.
I'm a senior breaking news reporter, so I do I catch stories as they come in. Sorry about that.
Awesome.
And I also do specialized reporting on extremism and ISIS when that was a thing.
Oh, wow. Excellent. Excellent.
I'm also a breaking news reporter.
Excellent. Excellent.
Ditto.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm a breaking news reporter as well.
So we've got a lot of breaking news reporters here.
That's
Me
'cause
too.
They call us
We all
breaking
need
news, we're
Arthur.
broken. Yeah.
I totally feel you. But isn't it a great job? I mean, I know this has been a horrible fucking year, honestly, but I think we're allowed to say that, right? We can say this is a horrible fucking year. And I know people are stupider than they've ever been in terms of the news consumers. I'm aware of that. I'm aware of how hard it is. But in general, it's a pretty neat job, isn't it? It kind of puts you at the center of things. And by the way, once you get to this point, now you can start going in and darkening the darkest areas. I'm going to have you wait on the, I'm having you wait on the eyes, face, until we get all these bigger, darker, and lighter shapes. So now you can start going in and darkening. Oh, there's kind of a key one I almost forgot to mark out. Let me do that quickly. I'm going to put this in, let's see, a darker blue so you can really see it. Although he's got a little white chest, can you see that there's a break in that white, that here it's very light, and then as we move down the breast or up, since we're looking at it backwards, there's kind of it goes from light to medium to dark. So we're going to treat those as separate sections, even though it's all part of his little chest. I don't even know why I think it's a he. So I'm kind of lightly, very lightly sketching in the light area. The medium area and the dark area. And I'm going to shade those in too. I'm not going to shade that as dark as I am my dark areas, but I'm not going to treat this whole little, even though his feathers are all white here, because of the way shading works, not everything is the same value. So actually, this is a great chance to stop and talk about value. Has anybody heard of value in terms of color, in terms of art? What does value mean? Value is the lightness or darkness of any color. So if dark is a 5, right, and light is a 1, maybe this is a 2, this is a 3, and this is a 4, right? They have different shades of value. And so as you're starting to shade, you're thinking about, and I always like to start with my darkest areas first because those are the easiest ones to set down. I know if I get my 5s in, and I kind of like to move around. I like to move around the sheet as I'm doing it. So I'm just kind of going on getting all the 5s. There we go. Now I'm starting to have something that looks a little bird-like. This is also a 5, I would say, in here. This is pretty dark too. Oh yeah, notice here as well. This white area of his face also has a kind of divide here. So you notice, this is what I want you to notice. As we start looking at this from a visual perspective, how do I convey this on a flat piece of paper, right? How do I convey 3 dimensions on a flat piece of paper? One of the things that we start noticing is that we stop thinking about what a thing is. Although this is a white breast, right? A white, like white feathers, that the whole breast is not the same. Even though it's a white breast, it's not the same, right? So I'm going to break up that breast into light, medium, and dark pieces so that I can start to sketch it. I'm doing this very quickly and kind of sloppily. There are a lot of ways to make dark lines. To make dark, medium, and light, you can use your finger. You can use cross hatching, like making little numbers. I tend to like to do more solid lines with my pencil, kind of go over them until they become more solid. If I was being less lazy, I would do that now. All right. And then, only then, am I going to add in my eye. And I'm going to notice, because it'd be really easy to make this eye too big. And you're going to find, you're going to be surprised at how small it is. And there's also kind of a dark and medium in here. There we go. I think you all have it. Go ahead and send stuff across. And talk to me about your work, what it's like. I've always wondered what it was like to work for BuzzFeed. Or just work, if you don't want to talk. You do not have to talk if you do not want to talk. But if you feel like talking, throw something out there.
I'm busy shading.
Yeah, you're busy shading. That's good.
Dan and I work on the same team. We're on the tech team. We write about different things. Kim writes on like disinfo and such, and I write on more like surveillance, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Both very cheery topics.
Yeah, totally. So stressful.
Can be.
Yeah. But interesting.
I'm a science reporter, so I've been writing about the coronavirus all day.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Are you feeling hopeful about, I know we're in an upswing, but are you feeling that there's some good news to be had in all of this mess?
I feel more hopeful than I did 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So I see light at the end of the tunnel, whereas before I wasn't sure if there's any light coming.
What do you feel hopeful about?
Yeah.
The fact that the White House is not going to have Trump as
An
president.
idiot in it? Yeah, that is helpful.
And that the vaccines have promising positive data, which they didn't a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I've heard maybe as soon as April. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple different timelines. It sort of depends on like if you're an essential worker or not, and yes, but I feel like by next year there'll be a lot of people vaccinated.
I'm part of a trial and I maybe get vaccinated or I get a placebo tomorrow.
Oh,
Really?
Oxford one. I was like, Astra what? They're like Oxford. I was like, oh, phew, okay. That seems fine.
The dog got outside. If anybody
Are you gonna write about it?
I will write about it is the plan. Yeah.
Cool.
I think I literally found out about it because someone put it in like New York Slack once. Like that's how I knew.
God, I wish that was me.
I mean, they still.
Thank you for doing that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's a double whammy because one, you're like, wow, I'm really selfless. I'm like putting my body on the line for humanity. Like I'm really giving. And then you're also like, and I might get vaccinated 6 months before everybody else.
It's like no one's saying that about the first people who get vaccinated once it's approved. It's like only if you go when it's still being tested.
Literally, my sister like works on vaccine trials in Australia, and I'm like, oh, but are you putting your own health and safety on the line? Kind of feels like only one person in this family is really trying to.
Right. By the way, any idea, without looking at your time, how much time do you think has passed?
I literally could not guess. It could be 20 minutes and it could be way longer.
We have gone, our class is almost over.
Oh my God.
Aww.
I know. Crazy, right? That is crazy. We can go another 10 minutes past. Let's go another 15 minutes.
I made such a good drawing.
I want you guys to start sharing your drawings and where they are. Does anybody feel like this was way easier than what you expected?
It was definitely easier than what I expected when you showed us it like this penguin at the beginning.
Or a puffin, right? A puffin. Yeah. Yeah, you have a lot more skills to deal with this than when I first showed it to you, right? So the stress is really on not knowing, oh, he's cute, adorable. Eva, very nice. That's okay. And Eva, if you want to, okay, so I would say, let's turn these right side up. Go ahead and turn your drawing right side up and let's start checking it. You can start making changes. It doesn't look too
so
bad.
cute.
They are really cute. I feel like mine, the beak got a little bit too long, so I'm gonna go back in and wait, what did I do with my pencil? Oh, I dropped my pencil. Okay, so I can't do that right now, but my pencil rolled away and I have headphones on. But I could totally kind of like carve that in a little bit. In fact, I'll show you what I would do if I had a pencil. I would carve this in a little bit. Yeah. And I might bring this down. So start working on this. Very nice. Good job, you guys. Oh, great. Who just sent that?
I'm so impressed with you all.
Tasneem, very nice. Julia, great.
You guys
Stephanie,
grew.
nice. His head looks a little bit squashed, Stephanie. So I think you went a little too, this is what I think happened. I think you went like this.
Yeah, too
like
angular.
that. So go ahead and just kind of correct that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need to get one, Brianne. But that looks great. And I love someone who's gonna work with lined paper because that's really letting go of the final product. You know, it's not what it is.
Amber, this is so good.
Yeah, I would say this is great, Amber. I would say, because I'm always going to give you a little bit of help.
Please, I got really lost in the beak area. I had to redo
Yeah,
it.
I can see that. So it's like, so what you did is this. Can you see this? What you did this with your white? This needs to go a little bit straighter.
Oh,
almost
yeah,
like
yeah,
a pie
yeah.
piece. So if you want to fix that, that will help a lot.
I can kind of cut him in.
Yeah, you can totally cut him in. Oh, great little dude, Ellie. That's great. Looks good. Ellie, his little breast is popping out a bit too much. You'll notice that you went here. You put your guy here. So if you want to bring him in a little bit.
Yeah.
Good job, Addie. Great job.
Addie is so
And Addie, you did what I did. You sort of made his beak a little too long so you can carve it in a little bit. But see, this is the great thing about, oh, this is great, Carolyn. Nice. So this is the great thing about this technique. You don't get everything right on the first try, but you are much more able to correct because you've got the basics in the right place. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you try to sort of draw without knowing where things are, you can see now my little guy with all the different things kind of burgeoning off him. Is anybody going to join? Yes, please take your time with this. Is anybody going to join this tomorrow's class?
I wish I could.
I would if I could.
All right.
I wish I could. I wish I could.
I might try.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, if you can't, it will be available on video.
Same, Stephanie.
Yes, that all happens with WhatsApp. You then have to get, but it's a great thing to have your camera roll full of. I think there's some setting where you can get it out of your camera feed.
Oh, I want all of them.
I have never. I'm gonna make them my phone background.
I'm gonna save them as everyone's like contact is gonna.
Yes.
I mean, I do feel like sort of all of our birds reflect something of ourselves right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like all of mine look a little bit anxious.
Yeah. I love that. Totally. Actually, that's one of the most fascinating things about art. You all use the same technique, using the same materials, watching the same guided instruction, and yet everybody's bird looks different. And you all did a great job. You really honored the way this bird looks, and yet everybody's bird has a different take. So it's an interesting thing to see that voice is very, I often have artists say to me, oh, you're wrecking my voice by telling me how to do this. And I'm like, no, I'm just showing you how to draw correctly. I'm not trying to, I'm trying to show you how to render what you actually see correctly. Voice is always there. You can't like get rid of it.
I have a newfound admiration for all of your minds. I love you.
I have a newfound admiration.
So
for the
tell
art
Eva
team.
and Brianne, if this is something you want to do, what I would like to
All
do
the time.
is bring you all into work with my Reuters reporters. So to join the classes that are weekly happening there. We're actually going to be starting with painting in January. Although you don't have to paint, you can do, everything we'll be doing is working off of sources like this. So you can totally do a pencil drawing while I'm working and showing a demo in paint. If you want to join, let them know. It would be very easy to bring you guys in. And I think you'd really like the Reuters people. They're super nice.
They're in our union too, so that would be a great news.
Oh yeah, exactly. That would be amazing. Great way to get to know people, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you still drawing in?
Fine. I love my
awesome.
guy. I fixed his face up, but you know what? We can have him with his original bonkers face.
It's original bonkers face.
Keep him
I'm
real.
so impressed with how everyone's work turned out. Like, wow.
I know, right?
Actually,
I mean, these are people, this is somebody, all of you were basically like, I've never done this before. And if I had asked you at the beginning lesson to draw this bird, that would have felt really intimidating. But instead, it's actually, it's okay, right? It's actually manageable. I'm not going to say that there aren't things that are hard. It's hard to get things in exactly the right position. It's hard to get things exactly right, but that there's a method and a technique for doing this that's super helpful in terms of doing any other kind of work, you know, doing all this other work. If there's a structure, it's construction. It's like building a table. You don't build a table with very ornate legs by starting out, you know, carving a leg out of wood. You start by cutting 4 blocks of wood, the same size, very important if you have a table, for the legs, and 1 block of wood that will fit on the top of that table before you start adding any detail. So drawing is the same. And it's definitely a skill that you can build on. Oh, adorable. Yay, Sharpies. That is a very attractive bird, I agree.
I also
So
realized
what
how much
I would
having something
do
upside
is
down
darken a little bit down here.
Wow.
Very nice.
That was a move, having colors.
Yes. Toucan Sam, yeah.
It's so cute.
I feel like I want to name mine Bartholomew or something.
So did you enjoy this, ladies?
Yes.
Yes.
Did the time fly? And did you learn anything? What'd you learn?
I feel like I learned. I don't see myself as like an artsy person at all, and the way you broke it all down into just little bite-sized pieces was so helpful, and I feel accomplished now.
Yay. That is exactly what I want you to feel. And you know, it continues. Doing art is like building on little successes. It's like, and then occasionally failures, like, right? You try something and it doesn't work out. Art is like, every time it's like having these little tiny successes building upon each other. It's like learning a language, really. Learning the language of the visual spatial, the right brain. And it's a different language with different rules than left brain, which is why it gets confusing. I mean, we're pretty much all the time in our left brain. As long as you're talking, writing, communicating, you're in left brain. That's where you are. Right brain is not about talking. Notice you all got very quiet, which I imagine is kind of unusual for this group. I'm imagining it's like, you got very quiet because you weren't thinking about talking, you were looking at shapes.
That's what I like the most, because it like you zoned out, and because it was like upside down and things were flipped, and it wasn't like you were like, I have to draw a whole bird from scratch. It was like, I have to draw this one line from this dot to the next
right
dot.
Exactly, in this box I have to treat this, I have to deal with this box. That is right brain. That is your right brain, and the more you exercise it, the better you're going to get.
Yeah, and like one of the things, so like I did take art classes as a kid, but I was never good at it, and it always upset me. And no one taught me this whole tactic.
I
and
know.
It's so cool how, like, if you break it down, just like in life, if you like break something down into smaller parts.
Tell me about
is that
it.
The metaphor? Is that
Yes.
the metaphor? Did I get it? Okay.
Tell me about it. Like, tell me about it. It pisses me off how bad most art instruction is. My first drawing class, so I told you I went from dripping paint on boards to wanting to learn to draw. So I enrolled in a drawing class. And, you know, I had come from working at ABC News and Time Magazine and covering the Hong Kong handover to China. And I was like, I'm the fucking shit. You know, I'm smart, I'm great. And I went into this drawing class and I failed horribly. I could not draw at all. I made a whole series of mistakes because intellectually I didn't understand it. And my teacher didn't understand how to explain it to me. He was an artist his whole life and he could not break down these skills. So I just kept screwing up, and it's because I didn't know that, like, there's a difference between what. So I went home. It was hard. It was an ego hit. I went home crying every night from this class because, like, I was so bad at it. And then I just got used to it. I was like, well, I'm just gonna suck. It's gonna be bad. And then it started to dawn on me, wait a minute. And I read these books that I will send Eva and Brianne a list of. I read these books on the right brain, and that really began to help me understand what was happening to me, like why I wasn't able to see it. And I was shocked at how few artists could explain it to me. Yeah, it's really annoying. So I totally hear you. I'm like, I got this education from it was really hard one. Let's put it that way. I remember every painful moment of not understanding how to do this and not having somebody explain it to me. And if they could have just explained it, that would have made more sense. So there are books that will do that. Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain is really good. Drawing with Children is really good. Both of those books are wonderful at explaining and having you practice right brain techniques. So there is literature out there, but it doesn't seem to be generally known.
Wow.
And the other thing I found really interesting is that the kids who taught themselves to draw didn't teach themselves to draw this way. So they were kind of better than everybody else, but they went from detail to detail instead of getting the overall piece. So I have over the years, I have taught people who are pretty good artists, but had hit this level where they couldn't get any further. And that's because they didn't understand construction, right? So they had to go back over and start over again. And that's because they would focus on every single detail. And in reality, it's not every detail that you need. We start with the biggest outer shapes, then we start with the biggest dark and light shapes. And from there, we build inward to see how much detail we actually need to create something that looks real. And that feels strange to our left brain. Left brain doesn't want to do it that way. You'll also notice your left brain's going to fight with you and tell you things that are not true. to try and mess with you. You have to get good at ignoring it. And you'll also see that this is, you know, you'll see when you saw when I went around doing it too, it was not, I didn't get it perfect on the first go round. I had to look a few times, and often I have to lay my lines down before I can really see what's happening. So, all right, you guys, I want you to send over, oh yikes, I gotta get my computer charged up here. I want you to send me over your latest, greatest efforts. I would love to stay on longer. I've got a class and another class in 20 minutes. So, in fact, it's the normal writers class, which is usually at 6 o'clock New York time, East Coast time.
Enjoy.
All right. This
And
was
remove
great.
the spotlight. I want us, go ahead and put yourself in gallery view so you can see everybody. Maybe hold your drawings up. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at how dang cute these are amazing. Is somebody taking, wait, I gotta take a picture of this. Hold them up. Hold them up. Hold on. Oh my God. You all are so cute. There we are. Does anybody mind if I post this on social media? I won't use
Go
your
ahead.
Okay. It's really great. Awesome. And I'll send this over to you. Okay, so Eva and Brianne, I'm going to send you a recording. It'll take a couple hours to upload, but I will send you a YouTube link. I'm going to send you some handouts that you can send to everybody who came to class on how to build drawing into your life. And then hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. And as many of as I can, I would love to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we will draw a flower, and it's a little bit harder. So I wanted to start off with this one because this one was a little bit easier, but you all could totally do it. You can totally manage it. So, oh, hello, puppy. Hi, puppy.
She's teething. It's fun.
It was a pleasure to meet you, and it was a pleasure to work with all of you. Thank you.
This was so great. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad. I hope you found this a little bit less stress relieving. Do you notice, do you feel differently than you did at the beginning of class?
Yeah. Shockingly so.
I feel like I
a little
already
bit more
had a
focused, a little bit less like anxious, and feeling like there was a success that you had, right? A little bit of success, which we really need right now. Yeah. Okay. A pleasure to meet you guys.
Very nice.
Eva and Brianne, thanks for setting this up.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.